take no loss. Yeah, I don't even know what it costs. Yeah, I hit the ground and it go off. Yeah, hit the ground and it go off. Yeah, run it. Ooh, I really feel it's my time. Think it's my year.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. Welcome to the morning show here on Stock Market TV. It is I, Spencer Israel. JC Parets is here. Strazza is still playing hurt. He might join us today, but we hope he'll be back. He'll be back on Monday. He's recovering. All good. He was playing hurt this week, but he powered through. We have a lot to discuss, though. I want to discuss moonshots. Look, we're living in like the moonshot market, okay? Like every day, stocks are mooning. It's Crypto Friday, so cryptos, of course, some of them are mooning. I want to talk about that. We'll probably talk about breath a little bit. There is a headline going around and around this morning. Maybe you've seen it from the Financial Times about the bad breath in the market. We'll talk about that, I'm sure. And we'll be joined by Jay Woods. Jay Woods will stop by at 9. Louis Sykes will be here. Kenny Glick will be here. Much going on here on the morning show. Are you ready to dance? Chat? Yes. Great. Let's roll.
Crypto Friday. I love me a good Crypto Friday.
You and I match. That was not intentional.
No, I don't. My goal in life is to look nothing like Spencer Israel.
I can change if you want.
No, I mean we got it. No, we look good. Sure. I think we look good. We look good.
I'll go.
You are the Ernest Hemingway of technical analysis. You know that? I think you're looking more and more like Ernest Hemingway every day.
No, I went to his house once in Key West, but
you would do that. You would go to Key West and go to Ernest Hemingway's house.
That's what you're supposed to do.
No, you're supposed to be eating Kong fritters and drinking beers
and key lime pie. I was like 15.
Key lime pie on a stick.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Key lime pie on a stick.
Let's do a state of the markets, and then we'll talk about these moonshots and the breath and all that jazz. Because I had a feeling you'd want to discuss this.
These Financial Times people, what are they, Brits?
They might actually be, yeah.
What are these Brits so angry? The Economist, a bunch of Brits too. What's up with these people?
Yeah, okay.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have the Dow Jones Industrial Average at 49,955, up 0.5% on the day, on pace, not on pace, close to a new all-time weekly closing high. Not quite there just yet. We got to get up to 50,120. S&P 500 futures, on the other hand, up 0.2%, outpacing the Dow, on pace for yet another all-time weekly closing high for the S&P 500. You got the NASDAQ 100 leading the way this morning, up 1%, 28,960. That is up almost 300 this morning, believe it or not. NASDAQ also on pace for the highest weekly close of all time. You got 30-year bond futures relatively flat at 113.5 for the ZBs. You got crude oil flat, just under 95. You got copper up 2% at 630. Dr. Copper making moves, holding in there really well the last few months. Gold up 0.5%, 47.33. Silver up almost 2%, pushing 82 with the VIX still almost 17. VIX at 17. How about that? Over in funny money land, you got Bitcoin up 200, 80,240 for Bitcoin, still above 80,000. You got the Ethereum pushing 2,300, flat on the day. Solana 88.5, up 0.5%, and that brings the total crypto market cap, Mr. Spencer Israel.
Yes.
2.64 trillion, which would be the highest close since January. How do we feel about this morning's futures?
I feel pretty good about it. I don't. It definitely feels like we are. I don't want to use the term climbing wall of worry. That's not what this feels like to me. This feels like more of a.
I think it's exactly that, dude.
No, it feels like more of a wall of I don't give a shit, right? Is mostly what it feels like, right?
I don't know. I think people are pretty worried. Have you not seen the data? Do we really need to go back to the data there, Spencer?
No, some people are worried, and others clearly don't give a shit. The market clearly does not. That's what this is. It's the
Because
wall.
here's the thing. Here's the thing about the market that people
It's the
don't
wall.
understand.
I don't care.
Now, here's the thing that people don't understand. And guys, if you're listening out there, this is really, really important.
oil. I don't care.
Listen, this is really important.
I don't care.
People sometimes are like, "Oh, the market doesn't care about anything." It's not that it doesn't care about anything. It's that the market doesn't necessarily agree with you that what you think matters is what matters the most, right? That's the thing. It's not that what you think, like global debt, US debt, Trump, the war, oil, inflation, nobody could afford anything, whatever, all the fairy tales you guys have been telling yourself for the last several years, right? All of those might be true. So why don't you think about that, the fact that despite any of those things that you're telling yourself, right? The market is still at all-time highs, right? So the market is just not weighing what some people think the market should be weighing. The market is clearly not weighing those as heavily as other people are. And it's not those other people's opinion as to how it should be weighted. It's the market is the one that gets to decide how that gets weighted, right? So keep that in mind. It's not that it doesn't matter. It's that the market doesn't care what you think matters, nor should it. You are nobody. You are nothing. You are an irrelevant, just a grain of sand on a huge beach, and you don't matter. Your opinion doesn't matter. Your portfolio doesn't matter. You are irrelevant, right? So to have that ego to think that the market gives a shit what you think, if you're one of those, I would go get some help. I would
also
get therapy. Find yourself a therapist.
In the never-ending race, in the narrative rat race, the narrative that wins, we're only going to know it after the fact, right? Like we're only going to be able to look back in hindsight and say, "Oh, well, actually, in hindsight, it was AI the whole time. It was AI,
Yeah.
right? Right. We're only going to know that looking back. We can't know. We can't know, or whatever the narrative is going to be, right? Whatever happens, we'll just assign the winning narrative to that result. I do want to talk about, and you actually beat me to it, JC, because you already had it in the deck. So if you want to, I don't know if you want to bring up, yeah, you already got them, slides 2 and 3. So this was going around the Twitterverse this morning. This article from the Financial Times. I'll read you the headline: Wall Street rebound driven by smallest number of stocks on record. They are specifically citing a research report from UBS. This threw me for a loop, JC, because the next slide, they inverted the y-axis. It is way too early in the morning to invert the y-axis on me. And it's not the morning for them in Europe, but it's morning for me. So that confused me for a second. And this is slide 2 is exactly what they're saying, that the more than half of the rally in this market in the last, whatever you want to call it, month, has been driven by these small number of stocks. That's what the FT is saying, UBS is saying.
And we need to care what this European bank and these journalists think. Should that matter to us at all?
Well, if you could also just rephrase this and say, hey, look, market cap is once again outperforming equal weight, right? Because the equal weight was outperforming for a second there, right? And then now it's not. So
I mean, listen, guys, like I understand math is hard. You might not need to study math if you're a journalist major, right? I don't think that's like a requirement or something like that. But for a lot of other majors, math actually is a requirement. And so if these I'm not calling anybody specifically an imbecile, but there are many imbeciles out there, right, with microphones. And some work at banks, some work for newspapers, some are traders, right? I mean, let's be serious, right? It's everybody. It's humans. Humans are fucking crazy. Technology represents a third of the S&P 500, okay? And if you add Amazon and Tesla and Google and Meta which are not in the technology index, you add them all up, you're looking at half, 2/3 of the index are these stocks. So if those stocks are outperforming, they're going to have a big impact on the overall market. Okay? That's it. If technology is a leader, then that line is going to look like that. And guess what? If these imbeciles would just take a second to go back and study every single bull market over the last 100 years, you know what these imbeciles will find? They will find that technology is a leader and an outperformer in almost all of them. So I would argue that if that line didn't look like that in a raging bull market, it would be weird. That's not like a story. Like there's no story to tell there. This is just
this is just a wall. This is a wall of large numbers, right? The bigger the company size, then the bigger then the gains will have a disproportionate.
These people, they're not in the business of making money. They are in the business of making noise. Like that is literally their profession. They make noise. Their job is to distract investors from what actually matters, which is making money by telling them fairy tales about how weak the market is. Meanwhile, the S&P 500 is at the highest fucking level ever. Can you throw up the equally weighted, right? So if people are like, oh, the average stock is very weak, it's only a handful of stocks. Bullshit. The average S&P 500 stock is at the highest level ever, up 8% in the last month. This quarter, up 8%. The average stock is up 8% in a goddamn month. And you're telling me that the average stock is struggling? Like, what drugs are you on? You are either on drugs and have mental problems, right? And, you have issues, or you're lying to people and you are maliciously trying to hurt people. Stop. Imbeciles.
It's sort of a lose-lose from a narrative perspective, because either you get headlines like this that the top 5 are the only ones contributing meaningful gains to the index, or you get the other side of the coin, which is that, oh no, the top 5 are not, the best players are not performing well. We're all screwed. So it's kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. But
the equally weighted NASDAQ 100 is up 17% this quarter. That's 5 weeks. It's up 17%. Equally weighted. That means the average stock in the NASDAQ 100 is up 16%. What are we talking about here? They're lying to you. And maybe it's because they're on drugs, or they have mental instability or whatever, or maybe it's just malicious and they're purposely trying to hurt you. Either way, it's not okay. So.
Here's the thing, and you guys know, I love. Well, I want to say, I do love reading news, keeping up with reading articles, the media, all that stuff that come from that world. This article was 2%, 1% meat, 99% fluff. Okay, there was like 1, maybe 2 sentences in this article that like actually had the thrust of what the headline was talking about. The rest, it was all just crap. It was all just quotes, and it was obvious statements. So
good.
Not the best work.
What's wrong with these people?
Okay, can we talk about
communism?
Can we talk about what's mooning? We have Louis Sykes in the house here.
Let me tell you something. If any of these assholes, and by the way, just quickly, Dawson, call them retarded, JC. I'm not going to call them retarded, because retarded is a compliment these days, right? I am going out of my way, retard maxing. I am so bullish retard maxing. So I don't want to call them retarded, because retarded is a compliment now. Right? I don't know if you guys heard.
Sandra, I'm trying to move on, Sandra. I'm trying.
No. By the way, you can earn $1 billion. If any of these communists tell you you can't, they're lying to you. You can earn $1 billion. Go do it. This is America.
All right. It's probably easier to earn $1 billion if you launch some viral meme coin.
Dude, I'm in.
Yeah, I want to talk to Louis about what's mooning. And I want to talk to Louis about the rabbit hole that he's found himself in these past few weeks and months. All right, Louis, I'm bringing you out.
Got my fingers on the pulse, avocado and toast, leather seats, jet plane, always ready to go.
Louis, what's up?
Hey, morning, guys. How's
Dog.
it going?
All right.
Hey, apologies if my internet's a little bit shoddy. I've got Starlink out here in the middle of nowhere in New Zealand, and so sometimes it can get a little bit, should I say, a little bit shoddy.
Dude, that's
so
not Starlink's fault.
hopefully-
That's a New
hopefully-
Zealand shit right there. I got Starlink. It's fine.
All right, Louis.
really? Wow,
Louis,
I love that.
I was watching your show last night, and this is what I was thinking as you were talking. This is a visual representation of the market structure rabbit hole. Okay, and this is Louis. Okay, he's gone into the hole. He's gone so far deep into the hole. He's come out the other side of the hole. Okay, that is what's happened. I've never seen someone be more enthused talking about like back office trade settlement stuff than you, sir, have been these past few weeks and months. And you know what's wild is you said it last night. You said no one is talking about this. Nobody cares, which is so ironic because for years, one of the biggest questions was how and when and where are they going to bring this amazing blockchain technology into our traditional financial system? And now they're doing it and nobody cares, man. Nobody cares.
Well, firstly, I love how you've got that little pink thing there, and you brought that just to demonstrate.
This was a toy that was purchased for my son, but let's be honest, it's fun to play with. So I'm gonna play with it while I talk to you.
Nice. Before I go, I just want to make sure that you can hear me loud and clear.
Yeah,
understanding that your videos are. So are we all good to go?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, sweet. So look, I gotta say, we've all heard these stories about crypto and blockchain and how it's going to revolutionize the financial system. But let me just back up and say that one of the lies that has been told to you is that decentralization is the biggest value add of crypto. Decentralization doesn't really mean a damn thing if on the other end, there's a centralized issued asset. So let's say you've got a stable coin that is issued by a centralized company, whether that's Tether or Circle.
Or FTX.
If Tether or Circle decide that they don't want you, Spencer Israel, to use Tether or Circle, then they can stop you using it. It doesn't matter if you're holding that on a decentralized network like Ethereum or Solana. If it's a centrally issued asset, they can revoke your access to that. We've seen that in Venezuela literally just a few weeks ago, where I think Tether stopped serving people in Venezuela. It doesn't matter how decentralized the network is, they have stopped allowing people to use this asset. And so the biggest value proposition of crypto isn't decentralization. It's not removing middlemen or intermediaries. In fact, middlemen and intermediaries are the reason why the current financial system is so anti-fragile, where we have all of these risk protocols, where we have the DTCC and the NSCC that have got these risk procedures to make sure that everything flows all right. So the biggest value add of crypto and blockchain technology isn't decentralization, but it's composability. And so, Spencer, I'm going to talk to you about all these databases that we have all around the place. Your broker, all these individual brokers have got their own databases. The New York Stock Exchange, Jay Woods is going to be coming on here. He's got plenty of experience with that. They've got their own internal database. The DTCC, which actually clears and settles these assets, they've got their own internal database. Banks have their own internal database. The Federal Reserve that moves cash through FedWire, they've got their own database. It's like Oprah Winfrey, right? It's like you get a database and you get a database and you get a database. But the problem is, these databases, when they try to talk to each other and they try to settle with one another, it can often take days, and that opens the settlement window. So when you buy a stock, right, it doesn't actually land in your account. You don't own that stock, and the ownership records don't change for a whole nother day. And in that window, there's a whole bunch of risk where your broker could potentially go under. And so your broker, they need to put up a whole bunch of collateral just to make sure that that transaction goes through to mitigate that counterparty risk as part of their procedure with the NSCC. In addition to that, billions of dollars are spent on just making sure that all of these databases just say the same thing, right? There's literally jobs that pay six figures in New York, on Wall Street, where all you need to do is you need to go have a look at a few different spreadsheets, and you need to make sure, does that spreadsheet match that spreadsheet? This is a hidden tax on humanity, and it is soon going to be removed because we now have the technology to move the financial system from the 1970s all the way to the 2020s with these new blockchain networks. And so the biggest value add isn't decentralization, it's composability.
All right, talk to me about some of these cryptos that are mooning here. I see we got a Hut 8 chart in the house. We got a Bitcoin funding rate chart. That's always fun. Where do you want to start here?
Let's start with the funding rate chart.
Yeah, okay. Let's go to slide 14.
I think Bitcoin's going to hit 100K in the next few months.
Hell yeah.
Reason being,
that's what we're talking about.
Look, JC was coming on and saying that there's this disbelief rally, and I've talked to a few crypto traders this week, and they just say, man, like, look at this move that we're seeing in the stock market. This thing can't go on forever. And crypto, people are fading this breakout. So Bitcoin is breaking out, and it's been a really orderly rally, right? It hasn't been this massive vertical move that we've seen elsewhere. But at the same time, we're starting to see software beginning to perk up. But traders in the futures market within crypto are fading this move. So funding rates are negative. So in other words, speculators in the perpetual markets, which are basically the crypto native futures markets, they are betting that this Bitcoin breakout is going to fail.
And are they typically right or wrong?
It's at extremes, right? And when you have price doing one thing and positioning doing another thing, that is when you get these squeezes that take place. We always see these squeezes take place, right? You have long squeezes and short squeezes in crypto. You had a major long squeeze on October the 10th last year, where there was a whole bunch of people that were buying all these crypto assets as they were going lower. And as they continue to go lower, they added leverage to these positions, right? And so price was doing one thing, positioning was doing another thing. And so when you get that dislocation, then you can get these squeezes that take place.
Squeeze 200, perhaps.
Absolutely. Let's bring it on.
All right. What else? Show me this Hut 8 chart. Was that you?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you're talking about these moves that are taking place that are going vertical. All of these crypto miners, there's not even a single pure play crypto miner in the public markets now. These companies have literally all transitioned into data center stocks. Hut 8 is one of them, and you got all these other ones. You got TeraWolf and Applied Digital. You got all of these different companies that used to be Bitcoin miners, which is hilarious. I actually went through and had a look at some of the history of some of these Bitcoin miners. They were around in 2002 and 2003. They obviously weren't doing Bitcoin mining then, but they were some data companies back then. It's almost like they've gone full circle, right?
They were probably telecom. If it was
probably telecom, right? And so, look, the market is continuing to reward these. These things have gone vertical, so obviously taking profits makes sense here, but I think there's still a large amount of disbelief in this. Kenny's going to come on and say that the market never goes down, and this is a perfect testament to that.
Dude, I wouldn't shock me if he's trying to short the Qs right now. All right, Louis Sykes, everyone. If you did not see Crypto After Dark last night, Louis goes live every Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern time. And he really went deep into the rabbit hole last night, talking all about the DTCC, the tokenization of our financial system, why you need to care, and even how to make money off it. Right? It's all there. Maybe the making money part is for members of AC Crypto, but I do want to, it is sort of like nerdy, wonky stuff, but you explain it really well, Louis. So good job doing that. And thank you for caring about this stuff, because as you said last night, a lot of people in the crypto world, they just want to know, and I'm guilty of it too. We just want to know, like, hey, when Moon, man, give me the next Dogecoin, man. But you're here for like the meat and potatoes, right? The real change that's happening. You're not just here for the, Dogecoin of tomorrow, whatever that happens to be. So, let me just say before I go that tokenization is the single biggest story that you're not really being told about in the media, and that even these large asset managers themselves are recognizing that tokenization is going to have a larger impact on the global economy
than artificial intelligence. And so that just tells you everything that you need to know about this. It's not sexy, but it is the single biggest story that you need to know.
You need to know it. Follow Louis to learn more all about it. AAC Crypto. Louis, thank you for joining us.
Cheers, guys. Have a good weekend.
All right. Before I bring on Jay Woods, I do want to talk to Kenny because he's probably, you know what? I bet you, I hope Kenny went long Whirlpool yesterday. I bet you he did. The thing hit a low in the pre-market and then ripped off the open. Had like its worst day ever. And Kenny, and you could have made bank buying that thing right in the morning. So I hope he did that. Well, let's find out. Let's talk to Kenny. I know he's doing a class tomorrow. We'll talk a little bit about that as well. Then we'll bring on Jay Woods. It'll be fun.
I like it.
It's been a long time coming. They ain't cuffing my clock, they tugging. Putting up numbers, 99 pounds, and I still kept it 100. Hold up. Yeah.
Name this tune.
You're a big air guitar guy, right?
I don't really play air guitar too well, but I was hanging out yesterday. I don't know if you know this or not, but I'm in this amazing, I guess we could call it a networking group, right? And she's friends with all these famous musicians. And Corey Glover rolls in yesterday from Living Color. No, nobody.
No, sorry.
Living Color, Cult of Personality. Guy opened up for the Rolling Stones in 1988. No, nothing.
Yeah, I've heard of those things.
You're a little older than we are, Kenny.
So I'm rocking out. You probably don't know who Tash Neely is. He also plays with in Slash's band from the Gun. You heard of the Guns N' Roses?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So Slash. This guy's friends with Slash.
Dude, one of my first dates with my wife, we went shopping with Slash down in Greenwich Village. Believe it or not. My wife had no idea who he was.
Was he wearing the hat?
Was he wearing the hat?
Such long hair. He has such long hair.
Yeah.
Why does that hair? That's
well, Corey Glover shows up, and the funny thing is, I was like, what can I say to him other than you were great in Living Color? He played a bit part in the movie Platoon. So I rolled over and I was like, yo, man, you were great in Platoon. He kind of laughed. So and then he rocked out. I mean, he did, and he didn't do Cult of Personality. He did a couple other songs. He did not that you would know, but Glamour Boys. They crushed it. And
dude, come with me to Motley Crue. You want to go to Motley Crue in a couple months?
Oh my God, I'd go to Motley Crue. It's one of the
let's
first
go to
albums.
Motley Crue. You down?
I have that album in red. The original too was it Too Young to Fall in Love? Too Young to Fall in Love. That was
dude, my daughter, for the first year of her life, she went to sleep every night to Shout at the Devil.
No
Couldn't
way.
sleep. And Wild Side and Shout at the Devil every night before bed.
Yeah. There's a blood stain on the stage. Hell yeah.
So good. And then my wife would be in the stroller, pushing the stroller, listening to Shout at the Devil so that my daughter would go to sleep. True story.
Shout. That's so sick.
Kenny, what are you buying today or selling?
I don't know. I'm factoring in that generational lows might have been put in again yesterday. Did you guys notice the market pulled back for 8 minutes yesterday? Sick.
If you blink, you missed it.
Sick.
Are you short in the Qs, Kenny?
I don't know, but Fat Finger Freddy's down about 6 points from here. So
show me. Fat Finger showed up. Freddy showed up around 8:15.
Yeah, take a look at this. Oh wait, is this up and running? Oh, there it is. I'm only short in this stock. This is one of my this is the stock that ruined my relationship with my father, Akamai. When I started learning about hedging, I hedged ourselves out of an amazing position in Akamai back in the day. And that was about, 24 years ago. He still brings this shit up at the holiday parties. He was like, oh, yeah, that Akamai trade worked out really well. I'm like, Dad, I've done other trades since, 1999. But anyway, they reported earnings. This is the one I traded a little bit so far this morning. Big gap up on earnings, little rollover. But here's a word of caution, friends. I ruined the trade that works every time like yesterday. And let me show you how I did it. Especially in this market, if the market even gives you an opportunity to make money on a short, and again, this is what the fade's all about. The McDonald's trade, if you guys were with us, yesterday morning, the McDonald's trade was awesome. But if you didn't cover it, ripped right back in your face 10 points and then gave you another opportunity. But, I was short in Dash yesterday. It was a really nice trade. And then I got greedy and something came over me. I was like, you know what? This is the one. So I went from my 200 share lot. I put another 1,000 shares on at the low of the day. And I had 6 individual stops on 200 share lots. And it was like they were searching for my lots. Ken Griffin was out there searching for me. And it got me at every single one. And then it rolled over without me. It was a pretty hurtful trade. And I know what I'm doing. I got smoked on this trade. And it just goes to show, man, if you are shorting anything, shorting is short-lived and it's not going to work out. So take the money and run. So same thing with Akamai today. You know, if you're got a little short off already, take the money. I do think it could go back to that 141, but don't add to your short in this market. But let me show you Fat Finger Freddy on the cues. We got double Fat Finger, so triple Fat Finger actually. So these prints are what we call Fat Finger Freddy. And this year, more often than not, which is bizarre in itself, we're going to these prints. So we got one here, we got one here, we got one here. We're above the VWAP. So I'm assuming if we do break VWAP, these are just close to multi-time VWAP over here. So we could actually go down. I mean, still my target down here that's the overnight low. And now that's new generational low. So by the way, I know I just said a lot, but if you're trying to stay along this market and it's difficult, I know because it's been going parabolic, just use the prior day low. So that'll keep you in. You're going to sacrifice some profit, but as long as you don't sell unless it breaks a prior day low, you've been staying in this massive uptrend. And same scenario today. So even if we do get some selling, I wouldn't get out of the core position on the QQQ because we got a projected move just using some, some VWAP strategies that we created. 724 is the near-term target, and there's no reason to think we're not getting there. Our first target was hit just now at 702, and that was the target we put on when we broke 600. So people thought we were nuts, Solid and I, when we said we're looking for another 102 points to the upside. And it didn't think it was going to happen this quickly, but I'll short something. But remember, I'm just going to take the money and run and call it a weekend.
Listen, Kenny you're doing a special class for your members tomorrow, right? I believe that's the case. All right. So I know he was running a special deal. And I don't know how many spots are available still. If you want to get into the class tomorrow, my best suggestion is to just reach out to Mary. Her number is on the screen. Her email is on the screen. Perhaps she can probably hook you up to get into the class tomorrow because I know they're running a deal and I think that offer may have expired. So reach out to Mary. Kenny, you're going live tomorrow at noon for a couple hours, right? Yeah.
Okay. We're going to review. And again, some people, I spoke to somebody later that day. He's like, I appreciate your honesty, but maybe you shouldn't be that honest. I got no other way to be, my friend. I harped on that. I did 2 bad trades yesterday, and I couldn't stop talking about it because that's how I learn. That's how everybody learns. It's better to talk about what you did wrong and learn from that. And some trades are just not good. I bottom tick the short. What can you do? It happens. But we'll talk more about that. And again, most of the review is basically we go over what we did for the week, and I show you how these setups work, where to place your stops, how to find these ideas, and obviously how to manage them.
Cool. All right. We'll see you tomorrow, Kenny.
All right, buddies.
Go get him, Kenny. Telling the truth is so much easier. Like being real, it must be so exhausting. Like having to lie all the time and keep track of what you lied about and like trying to like have this persona. Like it just seems so hard and like unsustainable. Isn't it so much easier to just be you? Like Spencer, like when we're in meetings behind the scenes, am I the same person that I am on in video?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so, right? JC is what happens when you stop being polite and start being real.
Right. Yeah.
Right. That was an MTV reference for everyone. Okay. All right. Let's bring on Jay. We got Jay Woods in the house. Let's bring him out.
Right. Yo, Jay, we've been friends for a long time. Make the call.
I mean, this is pretty professional, guys.
Nice show you got going here.
Hey-o.
Hey, can you hear me all right?
Where are you? Live in Avalon, New Jersey?
No, I would be in Sea Isle if I was down the shore, and you know that. I am in Bedminster, Basking Ridge, New Jersey, at the home office today because I got to run and do something else. But
that's where the Trump Golf Club is? Isn't the Trump thing there?
2 miles down the road, the helicopters shake my house every summer. It's coming soon. So
You see how I know?
I mean,
should I go? Should I go this year?
to that golf course? Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, no political. It's a great golf course.
Don't they have an event there? Isn't there there's a big event right there every year, right?
I know there was a live golf tournament there, but I don't know what we're doing with the live anymore. So there's always something going on. I've been there twice. I can't afford to be a member there, nor would I want to be, but it is an amazing place. If you get an opportunity to go and golf and you're a golfer, I don't know if you are, but you got to go once.
I have golf clubs.
It's pretty cool.
Wait.
I belong to a country club and I have golf clubs. I wouldn't call myself a golfer. Strazza calls himself a golfer, but if you see him play.
Yeah.
Steve says you're not. Jay, do you ever go to the hunt?
Oh, the hunt is a must. I can walk to the hunt from my house. The hunt is
really?
The greatest thing in the world. In fact, my first year moving out to this area,
Can you explain what the hunt is for people that don't know?
Oh, it's a drunken bacchanalian for people that. For the teenage crowd, it's a giant horse race in the middle of a field in Far Hills, New Jersey, which is part of Bedminster, and it's this just giant. 100-acre farm, and they do a series of steeplechase races, and 40 to 50,000 people line up on the infield, on the outfield, up on a hill. The classy people, now that I am one of those, I'm up on the hill. But when I started, I was on the infield with the drunken high school and just post-college graduates. And you can bet on the horses. Some people don't even know there are horses racing. They just hang out in this field and drink all day.
By the way, I'm definitely one of those.
Yeah.
As from a city kid perspective, right? When I was living in the city, it's a big thing to do in the fall to take the train out there for the hunt. Let me tell you something. The train ride there and definitely the train ride home might be just as fun as the actual hunt itself. Ooh. It is hilarious. And to Jay's point, I went I don't know, probably 3-4 times, maybe 5 times, and I don't remember seeing a single horse.
Yeah, and that train is epic. It comes from Hoboken, so you got that young Hoboken crowd. That's when I first went, and it's like a train out of India. The way they pack people into that train, and the drinking, it's like an hour 20 to get out there, which is what I have to do now on my commute, which is a nightmare. But it's one of the best times. I think it's the second or third Saturday every October. Definitely a bucket list item if you haven't done it and you're in the area.
Yeah, I haven't done it as an adult. I mean, I wasn't technically an adult when I was living in the city in my 20s, but I'm actually an adult now, and so I've tried to get some of the neighbors together to go do it, and we just haven't been able to pull it off. The fall's hard for us because we got kids' sports and stuff. All right, Jay, the stock markets. Jay Woods, floor governor of the New York Stock Exchange, looks like a young man, but you're a lot older than you look, right? So that's a compliment, right?
Yeah, I appreciate that. We can move on from that topic, but
Dude, tell us about the crash of '87. How was that?
Okay, well, that was high school, so it was something I was more worried about soccer practice at the time being October than I was about the stock market. But I know a lot of the guys. I hear the stories, and it was so funny because I started in '92, and they talked about it like it was yesterday. And a 5-year span. I mean, we're talking COVID now, like it happened yesterday, and it's still fresh in my mind. So I understood. Like, wow, these guys are still focused on something that happened 5 years ago, but it is a learning moment. And that moment is still a moment we learn from. In fact, we'll never have a day where we can sell off that much, 22% in the Dow. Circuit breakers won't allow it. But my first big events were, I don't know. I remember the OJ trial very vividly, not that it had any impact on the market, but I was there for that. Monica Lewinsky, and then obviously, which we can make parallels today, the whole .com bubble, living through that. Because when I started, we were in the
believe he
actually,
as it turns out, I believe he did have sexual relations with that woman, I believe, right?
It depends what the word "is" means in that sentence. But yes, he did. He did. And, now you look back and that's like, okay, what's the big deal? But back then, my God, it was the biggest scandal ever.
Hilarious. I've got some magazine covers. I got them down. I got them here somewhere. Some Bill Clinton 90s magazine covers. Couldn't help myself. I'm not just a contrarian business magazine guy. Jay Woods. I've diversified some of my collection. I've got some, Dream Team Sports Illustrateds, and I've got some, LeBrons and high school covers and some Jordans.
Yeah.
I got, I'm not just, but I'm basically 97% financial magazines, and I'm looking at these financial magazine covers, and man, are they angry?
They are still
slide 20?
extremely angry. So two things. One, those Sports Illustrated covers are epic. My mom threw them all out in a move. I had Big East Feast from 1985. Growing up in the
I got some
Philadelphia
Biggie
area.
ones.
Oh my God!
I got some
Dr.
Biggie
J
Source, and I
Yeah.
got those. I got Word Up Magazine. I got Biggie on Word Up Magazine. I got some old school stuff too. So this is what's going on here,
recent.
Bloomberg.
These are recent headlines.
Bro, this
Unbelievable.
is this week. This week, dog.
Yeah.
With the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ and the Russell 2000 and the Midcap 400 and the Russell Microcaps, all-time highs. And this is what these people are telling you.
Yeah, and this is the contrarian indicator of all indicators. And JC was nice enough to bring this to my class at Fordham University, where they talked about that endlessly. It was one of the best presentations.
I did do that.
Yeah, no, they loved you at Fordham.
They like that one? They like that?
Please, who doesn't like it? It's so timely. And in fact, I think you brought one from the week of that class where we were just going to war, and you just see the end of the world with this war. And here we are. What has happened? The peak of the down cycle was right before we started dropping bombs. February 28th was a Saturday. March 2nd was the first day we opened after the conflict. And then the lows were, I think, March 30th. And look at the run. I mean, this run, there aren't enough superlatives to define it. So when you see these magazine covers, we're not close to being over in this. In fact, what I'm looking for is the euphoria covers that talk about the DRAM stocks. You mentioned photonics on your show the other day. We're still not hearing enough about that, but people are going to catch on to that, just like they caught on to quantum last October, just like they caught on to the nuclear trade. And those two sectors, by the way, quantum and nuclear, starting to base and break back. So keep an eye on your Oklos, which have already made a nice move off the bottom, and your Gettys and your whatever those other quantum names are. But that is what you see in a euphoric state, but the pockets of euphoria keep changing, and this is not an overly euphoric time. And I think the biggest tell for us will be IPOs, and they're coming. And we're talking about the SpaceX, and we're talking about the Anthropics of the world. We have a few out there, space related. That's highly speculative. That's the next big thing. Okay, just like the internet was the next big thing. We're starting to see signs of that. I think that will come at the end of the year. And guess what sector is going to do well because of that? The one that's been holding us back, if we've been held back, is financials. The financial sector, when you have a strong secular bull market, it's the one sector. I mean, discretionary is kind of a mishmash. Thank you, Tesla. But the financials, they're getting ready to come back. Citi was making new highs. I don't think anyone.
Guess what I bought this week? Guess what I bought this week?
I know this because I was looking at it too. Uncle Warren, you went back to the Berkshire. Why not?
Dude, one of the trades that we go to all the time that Sean and I have put on over the years like a zillion times is whenever Berkshire Hathaway sells off and goes through a spurt of underperformance, we sell naked puts. Thank you very much. How you doing? Sell the puts. So I'm like, yesterday we're in a meeting. I'm talking to Sean. And I was like, Shawnee, what do you think? Go back to the well, sell some naked puts in Berkshire? And he's like, yup. I think even Perlman. I think Perlman may have even sold naked puts in Berkshire.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a tell if there's ever a tell.
Perlman's like a sneaky DL. He'll put trades on. He barely talks about it, but he's putting them in.
He's always talking about the mind and the body, which is very, very important. But
and look at him selling naked puts like a junkie. Selling naked puts like a junkie.
He's not friends with all his traders because he wants to get us fit. He knows what he's doing.
Jay, nine space ETFs just launched in the last 3 months. See what I did there? Launched in the last 3 months.
Yeah, very nice. Yeah, they're moons. They're mooning.
They're mooning, launching and mooning. Yeah, so you got 9 of those. So You know, and I like asking my smart friends because I don't really have an answer, but you got a $1.5 trillion, $2 trillion IPO coming out. They're changing the rules. They're changing the rules to make it happen. That always brings up my spidey senses. And
I don't like
when
that.
you look back, because Meta and Alibaba, none of those were relevant. Those were tiny little IPOs relative to the size of the market. All the stuff in the 90s, eBay, Netscape, all that stuff, rounding error compared to the size of the total market capitalization. So you really need to go back to Ford in 56, RCA in 1919, US Steel in 1901. Those are really the only ones that we can compare what's about to happen to. And in all of those cases, the market got cut in half immediately thereafter. Right.
Yeah.
So
And
I'm finding it really hard to think that it's going to be different this time.
No, and that's what gets me scared when we talk euphoria and tops. I mean, tops usually are a process, but you can have a little overextension and a correction, like I think we'll see in some of these, DRAM stocks like Micron, Seagate, and SanDisk. And I still think there'll be good opportunities to buy these names. But when you talk about these IPOs, the biggest difference now is they've stayed private for so long, and the valuations are just so sky high.
By the way, so did Ford. So did Ford. Ford sold in 56 to diversify their family's portfolio, not because they were raising money. Ford did in 56 the same thing SpaceX is doing now.
Yeah, they're not doing it for us, the investor. They're doing it. All right, let's cash out. This thing is getting ridiculous. They're doing just fine on their own privately, but now there's such a demand by the public that we want a piece of this, and they're looking for little avenues to do it. We've had some IPOs. I know Robinhood had one where you can get a piece of these stocks before they go public. And then the fact that you just mentioned they're going to change the rules so they can get into an index right away. No, don't get in the index right away. Now have something to strive for once you're public. Now you're going to be in the index. Okay, you've topped out. What do we have to look forward to? Your earnings? Okay, that may not be that great. They're going public at a time where they're peaking, and the public's going to get left holding the bag. They may get a few nice 1 day, 2 day, 2 week pop, but I would not be chasing these stocks, but I'd be chasing some of the smaller ones right now that are coming to the market that people don't know enough about. And they're like, there is a wave of emotion. But, I watched your segment before with Kenny, and the one thing I took from that, and I think we're all the same way, as traders, I don't know about you, but I remember my losses, and I learned from them better than I remember my wins. And I remember chasing some of these high-flying names back in the 90s. I'm that old. And I bought Microsoft at the top. I held it for 20 years. I held Microsoft for 20 years to break even. I think it was 15. But, I was that young, naive guy. Okay, this stock is going to go up forever. And then you get rug pulled. I feel that's coming, but it may not be 18, 24 months from now. So let's enjoy this ride while we can. And, be ready to take profits, have trailing stops, be smart about it when it comes. But we're not there. We are not at that euphoric state. There are no covers on the magazines. The fact that we hit an all-time sentiment low, a flush out just a couple weeks ago, you're like, okay, this market. Yeah, and the market looked like it was going to crack, and every technician, myself included, was concerned. This is a hell of a topping formation. I thought we'd get more of a flush out, more of a panic, like we did during COVID, or we did during the Independence Day, or with Liberation Day a year ago. We never got that, and that was where it was frustrating, where I was ready to go, but I wasn't afraid to chase the software select ETF. Some of these stocks that have come back now, gaps are going to tell the story. We're gapping again today in the S&P 500. We haven't had that exhaustion gap yet, but you and I both know those gaps tell a very important story. And right now, you just want to ride it until one of those fills, and you're not going to catch the top. But if you're long this market, I would have some sell limits up there, because if it continues, there's nothing wrong with taking profits into a market that's gone so far so fast.
Dude, my team tells me they want me to sell my SanDisk every day. JC, I think it's time to sell the SanDisk. JC, our stock has doubled in a month. It's time to sell the SanDisk, and I just ignore them. It probably drives them crazy.
Yeah, I took a little off the table in that one. If it gets back under 1100, I may revisit. But there are some pockets of strength, and this is what we keep seeing. We're seeing intra-sectional rotation. Technology is the perfect sector. All right. Yeah. Oh, we love the DRAM stocks, and software's getting killed. The semis are like this. Eventually, the semis are going to come back a little bit. And what are they going to do? They're not going to leave the market. They're going to rotate into where the weakness is. And we're seeing that. Now, you have to look very closely underneath the hood in some of these names. Microsoft hasn't really come back to life yet. There's no all clear, but from a trading point of view, there are bounces to be made there. Palantir is the most interesting one. That is considered a software stock, by the way. It's in the IGV. Oracle, Palantir, and Microsoft, your top three names there. There's no all clear in Oracle, but my God, the oversold bounces, as you know better than anybody, the best rallies are under the 200-day moving average. So we are getting some nice moves for the trading community. For a long-term person looking to get into these stocks, I want to see Palantir get back above 150 and break that little descending triangle that we're in. Because one thing that scared me, and this goes with your magazine covers, are some of the tweets. And when the president tweets Intel at record highs, I know it's gone much higher since then. I get a little nervous. When the president tweets Palantir with the ticker symbol is a good buy here, that's a little scary to me. So those are two stocks that I will be a contrarian in. And Palantir earnings, you can't argue with that. But technically, it has not broken out just yet. I'm not ready to jump into those two names. And Intel is parabolic. That to me is just one. It's become Tesla to me, where every time I say something about it, it's just wrong, and the internet gets upset. So I'm going to avoid Intel. I'm going to avoid Tesla, and I can check my DMs a little bit easier. That's for sure.
I'm in the Salesforce. I got some Twilio. I want to add to my software exposure. I mean, our Twilio doubles. I took half off the table, so I own less now. But I'm in the Salesforce, and I'd like to buy more software. What's your favorite software stock?
The favorite software stocks, there aren't any that just jump out at me. I think there are good stocks to trade. ServiceNow can go to 100 to 102. It's trading around 94 last time I checked. And who knows? Maybe it's already back there. AppLovin had a nice reversal yesterday.
Yes, that's the one. That's the one that looks great, is the AppLovin.
Yep.
I really like the AppLovin.
Look at cyber stocks. Cyber is a weird sector. There are 3 cyber stocks as top 10 holdings in the IGV. I don't understand who puts these together. I just know what's in the index, and I better know how this index is going to move. But when you look at Palo Alto Networks, that's in there. CrowdStrike is in there. I know Fortinet had a great day yesterday. Some of these cyber stocks are starting to come back to life, and they're worth, taking a little flyer on. At least risk reward is now favorable to dip the toe in the water. Is it all clear with the hack and the CIBR ETFs? I'm not 100% into those, but that's the rotation. And when we talk about intra-sector rotation, look at healthcare. No one likes to look at healthcare. It's boring as hell. But what's catching
these biotech stocks have been the biggest winners in my portfolio over the last year.
I love biotech. Biogen is just a great name, and it's still not getting a pop. We get an Alzheimer's update there, and
but that's really the only thing that's been working in healthcare really well is the biotech.
CVS is breaking out. Humana
CVS is technically
is coming back to life, and United Healthcare's got a lot to reverse, and it's on its way. So there's money to be made there, but long term, it's not all clear by any stretch of the imagination. But that's where we're rotating. We're getting out of some of the big drug makers. Pfizer's been every time I talk about Pfizer, it looks like it's going to break out of that 5-year downtrend. It does nothing. But it pays a great dividend, so I can sleep well at night. But you look at Humana, CVS, UNH. There's room to run in those stocks. We're rotating out of it. I talked about the financials, and then industrials. Industrials, no one loves the industrials. But look at stocks like United Rentals. That stock breakout flagged, and it has the potential to break out on a longer term base, URI. And then Generac, you talk about reversals. This stock's got a lot to reverse, and they are now into the data center space. The generators can back up the data centers, and they're getting more involved in that. So the fundamental story is kind of hot. It's in the sector that's starting to really do well. Actually, it's been doing well. And it's got a lot to reverse still after a monster breakout on its last earnings. And then you look at Caterpillar. Every dip, you want to just buy it. There are a couple things that scare me. Look at Uber. I don't know if you can share your screen. I'm sorry I don't have screen sharing capabilities at the home game here. But there's some engulfing candles that scared the crap out of me coming into today. Uber being one of them. It broke a downtrend on a gap, yay. And then what did we do yesterday? I'm like, oh my God. For a short-term trade, maybe it comes in a little bit, tries to fill that gap, holds some
Throw up
key moving averages.
throw up slide 2, guys.
Yeah,
Here.
slide 2. Thank you.
So you can see what's going on there. So you got a gap up.
Yeah.
And then the sell-off down yesterday.
Yeah, it just can't get. It looks like that downtrend's broken. Little inverted head and shoulders, possible bottom forming, and then no confirmation. So that gap is crucial. Another $2 in. We have a new uptrend there from the bottom. Maybe it's turning around. But I talked to my buddy who's a big fundamental guy, and he told me 10 reasons why I should not buy Uber. And he just verifies my Google position, which I will never sell.
I love it when I like a stock and the fundamental people don't like it. That's so much better than if they actually like it. I hate it when the fundamental people like the stocks I'm in. I hate it.
This guy's been spot on. But yes, it is. I always go with the technicians, obviously being one, and only price pays, as we all know. And if I'm looking at paid in Uber, I'm pissed off about what happened yesterday.
Corporate earnings is what paid, and company balance sheets is what paid. I would look at that, but it's not.
Yeah, good God, Meta. Their earnings the last 3 quarters have crushed it each time. Microsoft has done extremely well on earnings, and Palantir, the gold standard on earnings. I think they went 10 times on revenue over the last 2-3 quarters. And guess what? You're in a downtrend, and sentiment is against you. We have a nice floor at this 125, 130 level. It better hold, because if it doesn't, we are going to 110 first stop, and then you got a big gap to fill on the way down. So Palantir, while I know fundamentally they are crushing it from an earnings point of view, it's not going up. And then you talk about stocks that are crushing it that are not getting rewarded. It's the biggest stock in the world, NVIDIA. It is making new highs. I think NVIDIA is going to be what leads us the next leg higher, or at least makes us tread water if there's weakness in the market. But the NVIDIAs and the Broadcom still look phenomenal to me. Google looks great. Apple, did anyone ever talk about Apple? It's become more of a utility. It doesn't have those big pops. Cisco, another name. It's a giant, but it's a boring giant. It just kind of slowly and steadily goes up.
Hold on, back up on the Apple. Back up on the Apple. Because you and I are old enough to have been through a few cycles. And I remember a time when Apple was the most important company in the world. I remember a time where everything would stop for Apple earnings. I remember a time. There was no better, more important stock, no better gauge of technology in the market than Apple. Now nobody gives a shit. By the way, new all-time highs yesterday.
Yes, there were countdown clocks to Apple earnings and 5 boxes on the CNBC screen with people covering each angle of it. That's where we're going a little bit with NVIDIA. And these valuations, they're how many $1 trillion companies now? I think they're 10, maybe 11. I know Walmart just joined the club. Uncle Warren's in the club. And I think that club is just going to get bigger. It's just how things work over time. And then you started your show talking about, I think the Wall Street Journal is like, oh, we're back to these stocks leading this market. Well, that's what we want. It is simple math. Like,
A few weeks ago, they were complaining that those stocks weren't working.
I know. And when we were selling off, it was the semiconductors correcting and NVIDIA's breaking down, and it was the end of the world. And now it's totally reversed. From false moves come fast moves in the opposite direction, quoting you. And that's what happened in NVIDIA.
I don't want to take credit. That's the great Brian Shannon.
Oh, man, Brian Shannon's got a lot of things I use then.
He does. He's been dude, that dude has been on YouTube since 2005. Speaking of being older than he looks, he also looks great.
I know he's like our Yoda, and he's only.
I
like,
owe him a phone
just
call.
few-
I'm gonna give
You
him a
know
call
what?
later
So
today.
so do I. He's kind of like it was a good ski season, I believe, in Colorado. Am I wrong about that? I know Utah
Dude,
was bad.
Dude, the
But-
worst ski season in Colorado, it's still incredible. Just
Yeah, and he was out there recently. It snowed yesterday, according to Spencer. So and he's out there and he's living his best life. And he and our little community here, and we just learn from each other, and that's what's fantastic about it. So shout out to Mr. Shannon. You know what was great about COVID, by the way? We used to do these Zoom calls, and it would be Fami and you and me and Brian.
dude, I want to bring. Remember happy hour with
Batman.
traders?
Yeah.
It was called Happy Hour with Traders, and we'd sit there
Yeah.
and drink cocktails and talk about the market.
Russo.
And I don't know why we stopped doing it. It's probably Spencer's fault. Spencer, it's all your fault. Can you bring it back? Can we bring back the Happy Hour with Traders?
Me?
Yeah, Spencer, aren't you in charge of TV?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, you want to bring it back?
No.
Don't you have like 15 kids?
Hour now.
Happy Hour with Traders. Let's bring it back. Guys in the chat, you guys want to bring it back? I'm so with you, Jay. Literally, you took the words right out of my mouth. I was going to say, hey, you in the city next week? Let's meet for cocktails.
Yeah, but when is happy hour? It depends on who you ask. Your happy hour.
4:30.
5 o'clock somewhere. Yeah.
4 o'clock, 4:15, 4:30.
Is it 6?
Yeah, you get a glass,
If
a
Sykes-
little
if Sykes
red
is on the
burgundy.
call, he's drinking. Even though
Maybe a
it's
little
it's
Chablis,
God
little
knows what time.
Chablis action. How you doing?
There you go. Yeah. But now we meet in person, and those are the best. But unfortunately, when we meet in person, the conversations that we're having are, epic, and we should be filming these conversations because the amount of knowledge we drop on each other and perspectives we give on the market, to me, that's invaluable. You're always learning, and that's why I really Kenny resonated with me, not just because of Glamour Girls reference, the Glamour Boys, going back to Living Color, 1989, the show and the band. The band did open up for the Rolling Stones. Counting Crows opened up for the Stones in '95 when I saw them. It's just real talk. And I think when we get together, even in these conversations, it's real. I'm not putting on, I try to be real everywhere I go, whoever I talk to. That's all I know. But there are people that like to brag about their big trades and, are never making mistakes. And no, mistakes are what humble you and what keep you in the game and keep you studying.
By the way, they're not even mistakes. Just because you don't make money on a trade doesn't mean it was a mistake. Like I've lost money in trades where I would put that trade on 1,000 times out of 1,000. It just didn't work out that one time. It doesn't mean it's a mistake.
I know you can't predict that the CEO of a company is, going to be doing something stupid the next day and kill your nice little trend on. But
yes,
it's I know there's some crazy stories where like, hey, my crazy story is I was Long American Airlines on September 10th coming into work, and you never know what the next day is going to bring, and that's what the market is, makes it very humbling. And I just brought the show down by bringing that reference up. I apologize. I saw Spencer.
You're good, Jay. You're good.
Slouching his chair.
Jay,
I got a proposal for you, Jay. Later this summer, you want to go up to Minnesota and go visit Ralph?
Yeah, done. Let's do it.
Let's do it like August or something like that.
No, you should go in the winter like a man.
No, I've done that.
No, because I want to see the barn, and if there's too much snow there in Minnesota, and I can't see the barn. I'm not trying to do that, Spencer.
No, the barn is no more. He's moved off the barn, unfortunately. Yeah.
What happened to the barn?
We'll talk offline. The barn, he's just moved on from it. He's getting too old to go up that ladder and do his charts. It's just.
What happened to the barn? It's still there or no?
I don't know. We'll have to do an in-depth interview with Ralph.
The barn's got to be there. Somebody just came by and repainted the barn. I doubt it.
I don't think so. I don't know. We'll talk about the barn, but we'll get out happy hour. Let's just plug the CMT Association, which I am on the board of, and I may be even more involved. Tom Bruni, now an employee of the CMT Association, just came on this week. We're very happy to have him. He's going to be doing a lot of the socializing, meet and greets behind the scenes and getting the organization really fine-tuned, doing some social work. In-person events are crucial, whether it's Minnesota, me, you, Craig Johnson, Ralph, and that team out there get together. I'm going to be up in Toronto with them in a couple weeks. There's one event in Boston, May 14th, 15th. Dave Keller will be there. John Kalova Davos will be there. And then who knows? New York. is
Probably
easy 'cause we
Kelleher,
just-
if I know him, right?
Oh,
Kelleher.
please. He's the one who organized it because he doesn't want to
Right.
go
In
more than
between
5 minutes from his house.
hockey practices, Kelleher will swing by.
Yeah, he'll be there. He's like, I don't want to be involved, but if it's in Boston, I'll do anything you want. So the CMT's got a lot of stuff going. We're cranking. Membership is at an all-time high. Test takers, all-time high.
What about test takers? Hold on, Jay. What about test takers ex India? Are we getting a test takers ex India chart for?
It's starting to trend up here in the United States. India is definitely they love the CMT Association in India. They love
data because number one, these Indians love technical analysis, and there's like a zillion of them. So like it just use the data.
They love
Jay,
it's crazy.
Jay, we have some legitimate feedback for you.
Yeah, go.
This is from the chat. Please ask them to allow PDF formats of the study materials.
All right. Push play. Okay. I will ask that question, and please do me a favor. Follow up. Email the CMT Association, CC Tyler Wood, and myself, and we will look into that. I know there's a reason they don't do that. I know they don't want to have that material easily distributed, and the relationship we have with Optima, who does write the test, is very important to us. So we want to value that relationship. So if it's in a PDF form, there could be some security issues, but I'm just making that up. I don't know for a fact. So email the CMT Association and Tyler. I think that is a legit answer as to why they don't put them out. They don't want the world to get this, but if you take my class, you're going to be studying for CMT1 and not even know it. So it's cool.
There we go. Jay Woods, he's the unofficial mayor of Wall Street, and we appreciate the time today, Jay, as always.
Thank you, Jay.
Good seeing you. All right. Talk soon, gang.
Hey, before we go, I had a markets related to recess that I want to just do real fast. Can we get slide? What slide was it? Crap. Where's my slide? Can we get slide 12 ready? Thank you very much. Reminder for everyone, if you ever think that in America we're just full of dgens and gamblers, just know that compared to the rest of the world, we are nothing. This is a tweet from Eric Pachunas this morning that there is now a 2 times leveraged SK Hynix ETF in Hong Kong. It is the 4th biggest ETF in the market by AUM. Okay. That would be the equivalent of launching a 2X fund here that attracted $750 billion. That's the US equivalent. So the 4th largest ETF on the Hong Kong Stock Exchange is a 2X SK Hynix leverage ETF. The dgen.
Well, keep in mind that these Koreans, all right, for whatever reason, I'm not knocking them. If anything, good for them, right? I'm probably, you know what I'm saying? These Koreans have decided to make it really difficult for the rest of us Earthlings to participate in their increase in shareholder value for whatever reason. Like Americans just and other countries too, like just can't get in there and do it. So I'm not surprised that you give a bunch of Chinese people in Hong Kong the ability to invest in this, and they love it, right? We saw the same thing in America in the DRAM. The DRAM is basically an SK Hynix ETF. It's a big component of that, right? So then the DRAM was like one of the fastest growing. So it's a similar theme, right? These Koreans are finally opening up to the rest of us Earthlings. And I'm not knocking them. Clearly, they're doing something right over there in Korea. They're doing something right. So I'm not hating, just what it is. And so now they just filed for an ADR in the United States as well. So I'm sure that there will be more ETFs and ways that investors can buy it. I'm sure.
Yeah. So in Hong Kong, they don't do stock tickers or symbols. They do numbers. So this is apparently fund 7709.
You saw it's not out yet. It'll be an ADR soon. You'll see it. I mean, it's going to be one of the biggest companies in that trade in the United States. So you'll know.
Yeah. So anyway, just know on the spectrum of degens, we are not first in America. We're probably like 3rd, 4th, or 5th. Other parts of the world, mostly Asia, they are lapping the field. So that's my recess.
Yeah, they're the biggest dgens in Asia,
Yeah.
and then in Europe they're more conservative than we are.
Yeah,
We're somewhere in the middle,
sure.
right? That's kind of like in my experience. Like I go to, speaking of India, I go to India. Jesse Parets of All-Star Charts. I am looking for 10 baggers, JC. 10 baggers. That's what they tell me. Dude, I have so many friends in Mumbai. I love these guys. And they're all guys, by the way. Oh, that's not true. There's a few ladies around there too. I shouldn't say it's all guys. It's mostly dudes. I want to give a shout out to Jay Woods. When I spoke at Fordham in the master's program in his class, I basically started the presentation, be like, do you guys know how lucky you are that Jay Woods is your professor? Like, you know what kind of like, you know, rainbow shit you just stepped on, that he's your professor? Like, you shut up and you listen to this man. You know what I'm saying? And I had to just be like, I didn't have professors. I didn't have the floor governor of the New York Stock Exchange teaching me shit when I was in my early 20s. Like, you know, good for you guys. That's how I started.
Yeah. All right. Cool. All right, we're gonna get out of here. There is no Thompson's 2 cents today. He's on vacation. Larry Thompson will be back with us next week. Looking ahead to next week's calendar, we're gonna have, what we got on the show? We got James Bartoloni on this show on Monday. We've got David Zarling coming on. We've got Jeff Mackey. We got some folks. Yeah, it's going to be a good week. Much to do. So we'll let everyone go. It is 9:43. Time flies when you're having fun. Thank you to Jay Woods and to Louie and to Kenny and to everyone in our chat. If you're watching us on YouTube, do me a quick favor. It'll take about 2 seconds, not even, of your life, and just give me a thumbs up on the old YouTube. I'd appreciate that. And we'll see you on Monday. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the beautiful weather if you have it, and go make some money.
YOLO responsibly, and drink some Chablis this weekend. You want some wine recommendations in the chat? Chablis, 100% Chardonnay from Burgundy. Chablis, Premier Cru or better. Don't drink that Village stuff. Premier Cru.
Okay.
Grand Cru if you.
I can't take no loss. I don't even know what it costs.